सही कर वो इसमें
सवाल मध्य प्रदेश का
तो अधिकार बनता ही है महोदय। छत्तीसगढ़ के किन किन मार्गों का सर्वेक्षण किया गया, क्या उन मार्गों में चिरमिरी बरवाडीह का लाइन भी सर्वेक्षित है, उसकी स्वीकृति की क्या स्थिति है?
धन्यवाद,
आप दे सकते हैं सर।
ठीक। क्वेश्चन नंबर 37 माननीय हर्षवर्धन सिंह डूंगरपुर।
मेरे तो ओपन डोर्स है।
माननीय हर्षवर्धन सिंह डूंगरपुर नॉट प्रेजेंट। माननीय मंत्री जी।
सर आंसर इज लेड ऑन द टेबल ऑफ द हाउस।
श्री केजे अल्फोंस।
Sir, thank you for this opportunity. Even though I have start question listed today, but I know it would never come up. Day first
Please
today, so
put your question.
it had the same fate, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I live in the heart of Delhi, and I had one of these national carriers. That was my telephone. I couldn't get a call, so I had to come out to the garden to make a call. Sir, today, past 1 week, I've been trying to make calls. I have possibly the biggest telephone operators in the country, and I use their phone. I can't get a telephone call through at all. Sir, in Cochin, where I go and live in the government guest house, it's right in the heart of the city. I can't get a call through. Sir, is it a problem with the spectrum, or is it a problem with these service providers? Sir, Honorable Minister, would you kindly take steps to rectify this, please?
Thank you.
प्रश्न सर ट्राई से संबंधित है। ट्राई में ऑलरेडी क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस के लिए एक स्पेशल सेल है। मैं मान्यवर सांसद महोदय से निवेदन करूंगा उस सेल में अपनी कंप्लेंट रखे और ट्राई उसके ऊपर विचार करेगी।
डॉक्टर वी शिवदासन।
Whether government has any share in Vodafone, then if government sector one company is here. If yes, then please explain the details.
सर टेलीकॉम सेक्टर एक बहुत ही कठिन परिस्थिति से गुजर रहा है सर पिछले कई वर्षों से, और उसके पीछे कारण क्या है वो हमारे मित्र अच्छे से समझते हैं। मैं किसी के ऊपर आरोप प्रत्यारोप नहीं कर रहा हूं। इन परिस्थितियों के कारण गुजरने के कारण आज डिस्पाइट हेवी ग्रोथ इन द टेलीकॉम सेक्टर बहुत सारी कंपनियों की बैलेंस शीट, बहुत सारी कंपनियों की आर्थिक हालत में एक समस्या आई। अब सरकार का रेवेन्यू कहीं पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज न हो, सरकार का रेवेन्यू बिल्कुल भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज न हो, फिर भी एक तरीके से एक ऐसा सॉल्यूशन निकले जिसमें इंडस्ट्री स्ट्रेंथन हो सके, ये सब विचार करके बहुत ही सोच समझ के इतना मेरे ख्याल से जो सितंबर के रिफॉर्म्स की बात जो आप कर रहे हैं, that's one of those very well thought out, really going deep into the problem and bringing up a solution where government's revenue is not compromised at all. With that philosophy, those reforms were taken out. In that, one of the option which was given to the industry was that the interest which you have to pay for the 4 years, that interest can be paid either in you pay it or you give your shares in lieu of that. So that's the thought process with which that option was given. 3 companies have exercised that option, sir. We are examining the letters that they have given.
Thank you. Shri Sujit Kumar ji.
Sir, I am well aware of the various initiatives taken by the government to spread telecom revolution in remote and rural areas of India. Sir, the BharatNet project would be a good example, which is implemented to provide broadband connectivity to all the panchayats. But sir, even today, a quarter of the Gram Panchayats in the KBK districts of Odisha, which is largely tribal dominated and Naxal infested, are unconnected. They do not have telecom connectivity despite repeated reminders and
question
address in this house. So my request and question to Honorable Minister is, will he come out with a special scheme to expedite telecom connectivity in the KBK districts of Odisha?
Thank you.
7,000 new telecom sites in the country, especially in areas which are not connected. And I am so glad that Odisha, because of various historical reasons and because of some of the areas which are very difficult, especially the forested areas, KBK areas, which Honorable Member has referred to, 3,933 sites were sanctioned for Odisha. It's a great thing. I request Honorable Member that please approach the state government so that the sites can be easily given, can be quickly given. We can start raising the tower. And BharatNet, sir, in Odisha, the BharatNet project is implemented by the state government. I'll request the Honorable Member once again Please work through the state government so that the implementation can improve. Implementation is not at all satisfactory.
Thank you. Question number 38, माननीय कनक मेला रविंद्र कुमार जी.
Number 38.
माननीय मंत्री जी. Railway, it's related to railway.
So the answer is 38, sir. Answer is laid on the table of the House.
First supplementary.
Sir, as per item 18 of the schedule 13.
Sorry, question hour is over.
One more, sir.
Question hour is over.
Supplementary.
Please, no. Sorry.
Whether there is any time
Statements of the
program
Public Accounts Committee, Sri Bhuneswar Kalita ji, please lay.
Sir, I rise to lay on the table of the House the papers mentioned against my name. The reports of the Public Accounts Committee 2021-22, serial number 1 to 19. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Manya Prasannacharya ji, discussion on the motion of thanks on President's address.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir, for giving me the occasion to speak out my mind about the address of the Honorable President of India to the joint session of both the House in the beginning of this budget session. Sir, it is customary that the Honorable President of India will address both the Houses at the beginning of the session. And it is also very clear that whatever the President speaks on this occasion, it is only a speech prepared by the government and approved by the cabinet of this country, sir. But sir, I must thank the President because in the beginning of his speech, one very important thing the Honorable President has said, and he has said that I salute all the great personalities for their contribution in the development journey of our country in these 75 years of independence. I put emphasis on this very sentence of the Honorable President because there are some people in this country who refuse to recognize the contribution of all those great leaders who laid the foundation of a new India after independence, including the first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. There are a whole of leaders in this country who not only fought for our independence, but after independence, they took over and laid the foundation to build up a new India, a prosperous India, a progressive India, a secular India, a India belonging to all sections of the people, all sections of the citizens. Therefore, sir, I think the President has very rightly, at the outset of his speech, has saluted all those great personalities for their contribution in the last 75 years of our independence. Sir, for one thing, I appreciate the attitude of this government, Modi's government, that in some respect, they are taking a very nationalistic approach. And sir, it is a very, very good decision that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, we all know about his contribution to the freedom struggle of this country. And many people think that had Netaji been alive and had Netaji been in the helm of the affairs of the country after independence, the shape of our independent India would have taken a different direction. But unfortunately, that couldn't happen. And unfortunately, sir, there are some people in this country, I don't want to indicate who are those people, in order to eulogize some other leader, I think the contribution of Netaji and some other leaders of Netaji were very conveniently forgotten. People refuse to recognize their contribution to this country. So this government has very rightly taken a decision. I therefore compliment the Honorable Prime Minister that the Republic Day celebration will start from the birthday of Netaji, that is 23rd of January every month. It is a very, very welcome decision this government has taken. Sir, another very important decision and very impressive decision this government has taken to observe Bir Bal Divas on 26th December in the memory of sacrifice of Sahib Dazad, the son of the 10th Guru Govind Singh, for their unparalleled sacrifice during the Muslim era. Sure, there are some other Bal Birs in this country which sacrifice is memorable, that cannot be forgotten. I will cite one example from my own state, Odisha. There was a boy, his name was Baji Raut. He was an 11, 12-year-old boy. And he bravely faced the bullet of the Britishers that time. He refused, he was a boatman. His father was a boatman. His father was ailing. Therefore, he took charge of the boat. And when the British soldiers came to the river bank and asked the boy to open the boat to take them to the other side so that they can go and invade a village and arrest some freedom fighters, this 12-year-old brave boy Baji Raut refused. And he was shot at. And he became a Shaheed. So there are some other such Bal Birs in the country. My point is, all the sacrifice history of such Bir Bals of this country should be collected, and memorials should be constructed in their memory, and history should be give proper place to the sacrifice of such people. Therefore, it is a very good step that the government has started observing the Bir Bal Divas. I therefore also compliment this government, sir. Sir, the Honorable President, if you go to para 22 of the speech of the Honorable President, he has said about the farmers, empowering the farmers of this country. Very, very welcome thing, sir. The President has mentioned about empowering the farmers and rural economy of the country. I'm not going to delve in detail about the rural economy, sir, because I know you will not give me time. I have very limited time. And other members have very elaborately yesterday and day before have explained what is the rural economy in this country now. And the President has also very complimented the farmers, sir. Despite pandemic, farmers produced more than 30 crore tons food grains, and 33 crore tons of horticulture produced in 2020-29, despite the pandemic situation, sir. And agriculture export reached a record level and registered a growth of more than 25%, valuing rupees 3 lakh crore. This is the contribution of the farmers of this country. In the question hour, we are discussing about Swaminathan Commission, minimum support price pertaining to the farmers, sir. Sir, if the farmers can contribute so much to this country, in return, what is getting? What the farmers is getting? Farmers' income have not been doubled. This is the promise of this government that by 2022, farmers' income is doubled. I will ask personally to the government, can the government say that by now it has been able to double the income of the farmers? Can they say it? No, sir. The farmers of the income has not yet been doubled. Sir, had the farmers' income been doubled, you will be astonished to know that why the farmers of the country are still committing suicide every day. Sir, it is not my report. It is the report of the National Crime Record Bureau. It is NCRB data. And according to the NCRB data, as many as 42,480 farmers and daily wagers committed suicide in 2019. This is 2019 report, not the latest report, which is an increase of 6% from the previous year. So every year the number of farmers' suicide is going on. Why? If they are getting the MSP, now in the question hour I put the question, and other honorable members also put the question about MSP. I think government gave a very evasive reply. Government is not coming out with a reply whether they will bring a law in this house to ensure MSP legal coverage to MSP. Government refused to do that, and that is one of the demand of the agitating farmers of this country, sir. And most of the farmers in this country, they are small and marginal farmers, and they are committing suicide. The farm laborers are committing suicide. If the economic standard of the farmers, the government has been able to increase, then why the farmers is compelled to go for committing suicide? Has the government any answer for this, sir? So this is a very pertinent question, sir. The plight of the farmers, I don't think, had the farmers been in a happy condition, in a very sound economic condition, thousands and lakhs of farmers would not have been gone for agitation in the border of this country. Sir, just now the railway minister is very much present here. I will compliment the railway minister that he has given a good amount of sanction to the different projects of Odisha, sir. I compliment him. Sir, but one thing, sir, why state motherly attitude is being shown to Odisha, my own state? Sir, I will give only one example. Our CM has repeatedly asked for unification of all railway assets over Odisha state under East Coast Railway headquarters at Bhubaneswar. But we are told that zones are not formed on state boundary line. The reply of the government is, zones are not formed on state boundary line. Okay, sir, I agree. Zones are not formed on state boundary line. But now the South Coast Railway zone has been formed on state boundary line. And at whose cost? At the cost of the East Coast Railways. Why this discrimination, sir? When our request has been turned down, then why is in some other state you are going for state level boundary and constituting the railway zone, sir? Sir, you have taken away a portion of Andhra Pradesh from East Coast Railway. Then why Raurkela and Jharsuguda, etc.? This is our old demand. Now Jharsuguda and Raurkela, it is in Chakradharpur division outside Odisha. So our request is, you bring Raurkela and Jharsuguda and other areas, constitute a separate division, merge it with the East Coast Railways. The reply is, railway zones are not constituted on state boundaries. If it is not constituted on the basis of state boundaries, then why it happened in Andhra Pradesh? So therefore, sir, we feel that in some respect, discrimination is meted out to my state, Odisha, sir. Sir, the President has mentioned about forming two All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Jammu, one in Jammu and one in Kashmir. I welcome it, sir. It is a very, very good decision, sir. But, sir, there are some other areas in this country where health services are very poor. I will cite one example. It is Sundargarh in Odisha, sir. It is a tribal-dominated area, and it is adjacent to Jharkhand, which is also a tribal-dominated area. So, the request of my state government, my Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has been all the time requesting the central government to open an AIMS Institute in Sundargarh, sir. I welcome the decision of the government that two AIMS are being opened, one in Jammu and one in Kashmir. But some other areas in the country are there, mostly dominated by the tribal population, where health services are poor. So therefore, our request is to open a AIMS at Sundargarh as well. Sir, there are some states in the country, Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, they are mining state, mine-producing state, mine-bearing states, sir. And Government of India is collecting a clean environment cess. Earlier per ton, they were collecting 200 rupees. Now it has been enhanced and they are collecting 400 rupees per ton collected by the center. Sir, Odisha government have requested for renaming this cess as Environment and Rehabilitation Cess. Sir, we are suffering. The mine-bearing states are suffering. Our environment is polluted. Our trees are cut. And Government of India is collecting this cess in the name of clean environment cess. And we, this mine-bearing state, we do not get a single pie on that. So my Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has always been requesting that rename it as cess, environment and rehabilitation cess, and earmark at least 60% of coal for the coal-bearing states. This has been our request. Government of India is not considering. Sir, cess and surcharge. Sir, the share of this gross tax revenue for the Union government increased from 7.5% to about 19% in the last 20 years. Cess and surcharge. Government of India is imposing cess and surcharge on petroleum, on petrol, on diesel, on liquor product and some other products also. And the increased trend of center to rely on cess and surcharge denies the states their rightful share in tax devolution. Because the search and surcharge amount, it is not going to the divisible pool. And the states are not entitled to get a share of it as per the recommendation of the Finance Commission, sir. So our request to the central is that the revenue thus generated should form of the divisible pool so that the concerned states can get a benefit of that thing. Sir, during the pandemic, okay, the central government spent a lot of money. The state government as well spent a lot of money for that, sir. But from that fund will come. So that this is our genuine and rightful demand. So I urge upon the central government to consider. Sir, the Honorable President in his speech has mentioned about women empowerment. And the President says, women empowerment is one of the top priority of the government. Sir, it is just contrary of the fact, sir. Sir, okay, Beti Badhao, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, lot of slogans are being there, sir. Sir, I will say only one thing, sir. Okay, Triple Talaq bill was passed by this house. And we said that among the minority communities, Muslim communities, lot of superstitions are there. We have to deal with that. And everybody supported the Triple Talaq bill, sir. Sir, I will put one question here. What happened in Sabarimala in Kerala? What was the judgment of the Supreme Court? What was the stand of the Bharatiya Janata Party? There are two All India largest national political parties. One is Bharatiya Janata Party, one is Congress Party. What was your stand on that? On the one hand, we say about women emancipation. And on the other hand, we support preventing the women from entering into a table. We are not even prepared to go by the judgment of the Supreme Court. What was the Supreme Court judgment? Supreme Court held about Sabarimala that any exception placed on women because of biological differences violates the Constitution. It violates the right to equality under Article 14 and freedom of religion under Article 25. Why this double standard? On the one hand, we say about women emancipation. On the other hand, we prevent the women from entering into a temple and pray there and offer their prayer to the Lord. So this is double standard, sir. So I think we should, about women reservation bill, sir. Sir, this house passed this women reservation bill in 2010. But still that bill has not become an act, sir. Sir, women, you'll be astonished to know, sir, women represent 10.5% of the total members of the Indian Parliament. It is the latest. What is women representation in Rajya Sabha and in Lok Sabha, sir? And in the legislative assemblies across all the state, it is a pitiable 9% only. If you take into consideration the women representation in all the assemblies together, it is hardly 9%. And it is not my report, it is the report of Election Commission of India, sir. Sure, even in Muslim countries, those who are considered to be very conservative people, even in Muslim countries, women representation is much more than what we have here. And even Pakistan and Bangladesh, two Muslim-dominated countries, they have passed the Women Reservation Bill, Act. But we are reluctant. Why? On the one hand, we say of women emancipation. On the one hand, we say of Beti Badhao, Beti Badhao, Beti Bachao. On the one hand, we say of bringing the women to the mainstream of the society. But still we refuse to give them their political right. Why? It was done by them also. It is being done by these people also. So why not this government is bringing this bill? What prevents them? So this is, I'm sorry to say, this is just hypocrisy. So I urge upon this government, it is high time, please bring this bill of women reservation.
Sir, your time is
over, and I'm
coming.
also concluding, sir.
Yes.
Very shortly I'm concluding. Give me 2-3 minutes more time,
Please.
sir. Sir, one important thing I want to say, that Odisha is a cyclone-prone state. Natural calamities all the time hitting Odisha. You will be surprised to know, during the last 100 years, we have been hit by natural calamity for more than 90 times. Flood, drought, cyclone, super cyclone, And that is devastating our economy. That is devastating our economy. So we have been requesting, our Honorable Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has all the time requesting central government to give a special category status to states like Odisha. If not special status, at least a special focus category status to Odisha and treat us as part of the northeastern states and the Himalayan states and give that economic benefit to the state like Odisha. That is not being heeded by the central government so far, sir. So, sir, last point I will say, sir, about federalism. This is a federal country. Our constitution provides for federalism, sir. But we feel this House knows it. In every bill, there is one or two provision taking away the right of the state government. What type of federalism this is, sir? And the latest decision the government has taken that at any moment, central government can withdraw any IAS officer from any state without the consent of the particular state. What type of federalism this is? What type of federalism this is? So you are not strengthening the federal character of our constitution of our country, we are weakening it. So therefore, my submission to the central government, kindly desist from doing this. This is a federal country and federalism is our essence. You can't go away with this. So therefore, sir, if we want to take this country unitedly, if you want this country to progress, develop unitedly, if you want to take all the states to the mainstream of development of this country, don't eschew the principle of federalism. With this, sir, I, in spite of the fact that there are few contradictions in the speech of the President, करनी और कथनी में बहुत फर्क नजर में आता है. In spite of that, I support the motion of thanking the President on his address to the joint session of Parliament. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prasanna Acharya ji. The next speaker, Shri K. Somu Prasad. I think he is in Lok Sabha chamber.
I am in Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, sir.
Yes, sir, please.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable President, in his speech, tried to sketch a picture of a colorful and bright present and future India. According to him, India is a fast developing nation without poverty, malnutrition, unemployment, illiteracy, etc. As per his version, the Indian citizens are living in a semi-paradise. And when the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji completes his tenure, India would become another paradise. But what is the reality, sir? It is far away from the sketches. The presidential address does not narrate the real picture of the political, economical, social realities of the country, sir. The content of the speech is nothing but the usual combination of high rhetoric, unrealistic claims of the achievements of the government, sir. Sir, let me permit to record my reservations, disappointments, regret about the presidential address. Sir, when the Honorable President spoke about the handling of pandemic, he became eloquent. But we know the central government was an utter failure in handling the situation. Sir, how could we forget the floating dead bodies in the river Ganga? How could we forget the died innocent children and patients without getting oxygen and treatment at the proper time? How could we forget the long queue of the dead bodies in the crematoriums? Sir, the Honorable President said about vaccination. Sir, population-wise, we are the second largest country in the world. Administering 150 crores vaccines to 100 crore people within 1 year is not a big deal. It could have been finished earlier. Actually, the government failed to administer 2 doses of vaccine to the entire citizen within this period. Sir, the President praised the frontline workers of the pandemic. But what the government did for them? Had the government provided any security, any protection, any insurance facilities to their life, any incentive? Nothing, sir. Sir, when we go through each and every performance of the government, especially in the pandemic period, the government did not act properly. The government was utilizing the pandemic situation to implement its anti-people policies over them. The price hike of the petroleum products and the disinvestment of the public sector undertakings are the best examples, sir. The government is selling the share of the public sector undertakings which are running profitably and using the money to save private sector companies which are running in loss. Sir, who can support the price hike of domestic LPG and kerosene? Sir, the youth, especially the educated youth in India, are in severe frustration and mental agony because of the less job opportunities. Every day the unemployment rate is increasing. Disinvestment of the PSUs never help to create new job opportunities. Moreover, it would decrease the existing job chances. Sir, at the same time, the government is not ready to fill the existing vacancies. As per documents of the Government of India, a large number of posts in different ministries are kept vacant for the last several years. Total number of vacancies would come about 12.3 lakhs, sir. In the Defence Ministry itself, there are 2.4 lakhs civil posts are vacant, 1.28 lakhs in the Home Ministry, while it is 2.37 lakhs in the Railway. More than 7,000 vacancies are there in Health and Family Welfare Ministry. In the higher education section, it is 25,000 vacancies, sir. Sir, in the Central Police Force, the vacancies are 96,000. Sir, the disinvestment and the undeclared ban on appointment would badly affect the marginalized sections and Dalits. The Honorable President again keep mum on issues like social justice and reservation in his speech. Sir, what is the contribution of the government in NRE section? The government is dividing the workers according to their caste and religion. Separate wages for SC, ST and general categories, sir. The workers who are working together in the same field are divided as ST, SC and general category workers. It is too bad, sir. The wages for SC, ST workers is not distributed properly. 3 months wages arrears are pending in Kerala. It should be cleared immediately, sir. Sir, there are lakhs and lakhs of contract workers and scheme workers working for several years. But the President in his speech, nothing mentioned about the regularization of the scheme workers. The Honorable President in his speech explained about the Prime Minister's Sabha Yojana. He said that more than 2 crore Pakka houses had been provided to the poor. I welcome, sir. But as per the socio-economic caste census, there are 24.39 crore households in India. Out of it, 17.91 crore are living in villages. Out of the 17.91 crore rural households, 56% are landless, sir. Let us examine the status of the SC and ST. 70% of the SC and 50% of the ST are landless. Sir, without a piece of land, how could they construct a house? Land reform is the only remedy, sir. The President is keeping mum on this serious matter. Sir, disinvestment of the public sector undertaking badly affects the job chances of the weaker sections, especially SC, ST in the society. Reservation in employment is introduced only in government jobs and public sector undertaking. When a public sector undertaking becomes a private one, there ends the reservation in employment. Sir, in order to compensate the job loss due to the privatization, the demand for job reservation in private sector should be considered very seriously, sir. Sir, moreover, there are several government departments, including defense and judiciary, where the reservation is not implemented. Sir, without diluting the educational qualification or physical fitness, the reservation can be implemented even in defense department. Sir, in judiciary, also reservation can be implemented without diluting educational qualification and bar experiences, sir. Sir, as you know, in Kerala we have a very good health care system up to the bottom level. There is a long-standing demand for Kerala. The demand of Kerala for aims, it is still pending without consideration, sir. Sir, as per our constitution, India is a union of states and the constitution gives much importance to the federalism. The constitution upholds the federal character, but the central government always imposes unilateral decisions on the state governments and curbs the state power. Sir, the governors appointed by the center most of the time are acting as political agents of the central government. The Tamil Nadu example is the nearest one, sir. That is, now the government Now the amendments in consent rule related to the deputation and transfer of IAS officers is one of the best examples, which reveals the intention of the center to interfere in the state administration. The center should withdraw from such unconstitutional movements, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Soma Prasad ji. Now I request Professor Manoj Kumar Jha.
शुक्रिया वाइस चेयरमैन साहब, थैंक यू सो वेरी मच। मैं अपने दल राष्ट्रीय जनता दल की ओर से राष्ट्रपति जी के महामहिम के अभिभाषण के प्रस्ताव पर अपना पक्ष, दल का पक्ष रखने खड़ा हुआ हूं। माननीय वाइस चेयरमैन साहब, शुरुआत यूं हुई कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1919 के बाद हमारे यहाँ इस रवायत की शुरुआत हुई। उससे पहले हमारे यहाँ ये परंपरा नहीं थी। एक और ऐतिहासिक तथ्य जो मैं सदन के अपने साथियों के समक्ष रखना चाहूंगा कि 1950 में भी 31 जनवरी को ही अभिभाषण हुआ था। 31 जनवरी 1950, जब हमारे तब के महामहिम डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद, जो बिहार से आते थे, देश के सर्वमान्य नेता थे, उन्होंने अभिभाषण दिया था। तो 72 वर्ष बाद ये एक संयोग है, लेकिन 72 वर्ष के अभिभाषणों के दायरे में अगर सर सोचे तो कई चिंता की लकीरें हैं, और चिंता की उन लकीरों को हमने अभिभाषण के पक्ष में, अभिभाषण के दौरान नहीं देखा। इसलिए मैं शुरुआत करूंगा कि बेवफा बावफा नहीं होता, बेवफा बावफा नहीं होता, वरना इतना बुरा नहीं होता। हमने तो सोचा था, बाद लुटने के ये पता चला कि रहजन रहनुमा नहीं होता। खैर, बहरहाल सर, मैं कुछ छोटी छोटी चीजें इस संदर्भ में रखना चाहूंगा। सभापति महोदय, मुझे पता है कि इस संदर्भ की गरिमा क्या है। राष्ट्रपति का अभिभाषण एक बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है, देश का एक ब्लूप्रिंट होता है, एक दिशा और दशा देने की कोशिश होती है। हम विपक्ष में हैं, लेकिन देश की दशा और दिशा से चिंतित अगर हम हैं तो अभिभाषण की पंक्तियों में भी वो चिंता की लकीरें दिखनी चाहिए थी। जब वो चिंता की लकीरें नहीं दिखती हैं तो एहसास होता है। कभी कभी मैं सोचता हूं माननीय सभापति महोदय कि महामहिम सोते जागते अपने सलाहकारों से बात करते, टेलीविजन देखते, सोशल मीडिया देखते, संवाद करते, क्या उनको नहीं लगता होगा कि देश के विजुअल्स बहुत अच्छे नहीं है? छात्रों पे आंसू गैस के गोले क्या मांग रहे थे? चांद नहीं मांग रहे थे, नौकरी मांग रहे थे। और वो 2 करोड़ वाला भी नहीं मांग रहे थे, कह रहे थे बाकी वाला बचा हुआ दे दो। आपने लाठियां बरसाई। तो मैं ये सोचता हूं कि महामहिम के अभिभाषण में अगर इस तरह की चिंता ना हो तो सर, भाषण ना कागज का पुलिंदा लगता है, और अच्छा नहीं लगता है उसे कागज का पुलिंदा कहना। दूसरी चीज माननीय सभापति महोदय, कोरोना पर मैंने विस्तार से इस सदन में चर्चा की है। कोरोना को लेकर के भी जो चिंता आनी चाहिए थी वो नहीं आई। अब आइए अर्थव्यवस्था के बारे में मैंने कहूं, बजट को उसके लिए मैंने तय किया हुआ है, लेकिन मेरा मानना है कि सन 50 से लेकर अब तक किसी की भी सरकार हो, मैं जानता हूं ये लिखा कहां जाता है, लेकिन जहां लिखा जाता है मैं आग्रह करूंगा कि अगर हम सोच सके, सत्ता पक्ष और विपक्ष, तो राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण को दलीय दायरों से ऊपर कर दीजिए। राष्ट्रपति का अभिभाषण, कल को आपकी सरकार ना हो, ये मैं अपील बाकी लोगों से भी करूंगा जो सरकार में आएंगे कल को, कल नहीं आएंगे परसों आएंगे, कभी तो आएंगे। मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहता हूं कि सर, अभिभाषण को एक नॉन पार्टीजन डॉक्यूमेंट बनाइए, नॉन पार्टीजन डॉक्यूमेंट। राष्ट्रपति देश के राष्ट्रपति हैं, उनके सरोकार में देश का सरोकार दिखना चाहिए माननीय सभापति महोदय। अब दिक्कत ये होती है ना माननीय सभापति महोदय कि अभिभाषण में सर्वेश्वर की एक लाइन थी सभापति महोदय, अगर तुम्हारे घर के एक कमरे में लाशें सड़ रही हो तो क्या तुम दूसरे कमरे में प्रार्थना कर सकते हो? अगर तुम्हारा जवाब हां है तो मुझे तुमसे कुछ नहीं कहना है। इसी यही रख करके बात मैं खत्म करता हूं इस संदर्भ के। सर, पैरा 4 माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी के अभिभाषण का है, जो कहता है रिमेम्बरिंग द पास्ट एंड लर्निंग फ्रॉम इट। सर, इतिहास की एक अपनी स्मृति होती है और स्मृतियों का एक इतिहास होता है, और विश्व इतिहास गवाह है सर, जिस किसी ने भी अतीत की स्मृतियों के साथ छेड़छाड़ करने की कोशिश की, उसको बदलने की कोशिश की, वो इतिहास के फुटनोट में चले गए। इतिहास नहीं बदला, वो इतिहास के फुटनोट में चले गए। नेताजी सुभाष बोस, अरे देश के नेताजी हैं, आपने उनको इंपीरियल कैनोपी में रखने का, अगर नेताजी कहीं से आ जाते हैं तो कहते कैनोपी मत रख भाई, दिलों में रख, दिलों में रख। मैं ये इसलिए कह रहा हूं, मैंने नेताजी की चिट्ठियां पढ़ी हैं नेहरू जी के नाम, मैंने नेताजी की चिट्ठियां पढ़ी हैं बापू के नाम, मैंने नेताजी की चिट्ठियां पढ़ी हैं तमाम उस दौर के लीडर्स के नाम। कहां कद था नेताजी का, नेहरू जी का, बापू का, पटेल का, और विवेचना कौन लोग कर रहे हैं? मैंने इसी सदन में कहा था कि बौनी समझ के लोग लंबा इतिहास नहीं लिख सकते, लंबी 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 लकीर नहीं खींच सकते। एक बार चिंता करिएगा सर, मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि बापू के राम की संकल्पना करिए। इससे पहले एक हल्के में एक बात कहूं माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं कभी कभी सोचता हूं 1952 में पहला चुनाव लड़ा हमने सर, 52 में हम पार्टीशन से निकल के आए थे, पीड़ा थी बहुत, लाखों लोग मारे गए उधर और लाखों लोग मारे गए इधर, लेकिन सर 52 का चुनाव हुआ था समावेशी विकास पर, रोजगार पे। 70 साल बाद हम चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं किस चीज पे? देख लीजिए। मुझे तो कभी कभी ताज्जुब होता है कि पाकिस्तान में चुनाव हमारे नाम पे नहीं होता है, लेकिन हमारे यहां चुनाव पाकिस्तान के नाम पे होता है। अब मैं तो कह रहा हूं कि जिन्ना कहीं भी होंगे सोच रहे होंगे कि